to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Cherie and this is Lady Red Lifestyle. So let me just update you guys because I have been going through it. I have been on the struggle bus trying to find the correct shade with all these foundations that are being released during the pandemic. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will have all videos linked down below for you. So starting off with Fenty, she came out with a powder foundation. I tried 3 shades from that company and I'm really happy with the foundation that I chose. So now jumping on over to Morphe, they came out with this filter foundation. Child, she never found a shade, never, ever, ever. And I tried several shades and it didn't happen, and it's okay. Then I went over to MAC and they came out with their foundation, the cream to powder foundation, the Studio Tech. I was super excited about that. And that was a no-go too. So I spent some time at the mall on Valentine's Day. She was at MAC and Sephora and I spent some time. I was determined to find the correct shade. And I'm really happy with the colors that I chose. So if you guys are interested in the new shades that I picked out, well, you know what to do. So when I went to Sephora, I picked up the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. Listen, this was by the checkout stand. So I was like, I'm gonna try it out. I got the shade 4.5 medium, and I don't know if you guys know, you should know who this person is. Time the Infamous had mentioned this on her channel not too long ago, and she was just loving it. So I'm like, I'll try it out. But before I use that, I'm gonna go in with the Prep and Prime Skin Refined T-Zone treatment. You definitely don't want to put the Charlotte Tilbury anywhere in this area, right over these pores right here. So we don't want to do that. Then we're going to take this and go over the rest of the face. I'm just going to use my fingers. Best tools in the world. So since my skin is normal, she ain't oily and she ain't dry. She's just normal. I've been going in with products that help illuminate my skin. And she has a lot of shades, so I feel like we can probably all find a color, so that's great. So you guys already know I was going through it with this foundation, but I chose NC42. And it's still not quite there, but I really love the coverage. So I just went with it, and the manager and I she was working with me. We was in there for like I was in there for like an hour, and we was going through tons of sponges because I was determined. I was determined to find my shade. And she was like, we gonna go through all the sponges. I was like, I've been in here for an hour and nobody else has walked in here. I think you'll be okay. So I'm gonna use a sponge. Why? Because I like to try different stuff, like a brush. I've been using a brush, and you really have to make sure your brush is clean because you can find a lot of streaking going on. FYI. Let's go in with this foundation. See? Not too shabby, not too shabby. Not like the other color. But I really, really love the coverage of this foundation. It's still light, but once I add that Fenty foundation, love it. I just want to make it clear, I always use 2 different foundations when I do my makeup. Anyhow, I always use a liquid foundation and I go over it with a powder foundation. So as you can see, it's not an exact match, but that's okay. She tried on like 10 different foundations. They don't have my shade, and they will add to. But I really, really enjoy the coverage of this foundation. So after I went to MAC, she hopped on over to Sephora. Yes, it was a big day. She got it all done. Now, y'all know I was struggling with this foundation too, right? So I picked up 370 originally, and then I went back and got 360, and the 360 was like not hitting at all. I've never seen my face look like that before, my skin. So I was like, Ladybug, a sweet, sweet young lady there. I was like, we got to figure this out. Today's the day. I spent an hour at MAC. She gonna do the same at Sephora if necessary. So I went with shade 345. Magic. Magic. Now this has an olive undertone. I don't have an olive undertone, but something stood out to me. She does her research. Now my girl, Kelsey Brianna J, for whatever reason, this video just popped up, right? And I decided to look at it, and it was on foundations. And she said something that stood out to me. She doesn't have an olive undertone, but sometimes some companies kind of loop her into the olive category. So I was like, she's a little lighter than I am. So I was like, let me go with this olive. And it worked. It worked. So like I said before, I always go over my liquid foundations with a powder foundation. So this is nothing new. This is just a different brand because I always use MAC. And because my skin is normal and she's not going for a full beat, I use a fluffy brush. This brush is from Dose of Colors. It's nice and fluffy. Using two foundations is a lot anyhow, but if you want a full coverage, you would go with a denser brush, and I got this from Target. So I'm just gonna take this brush. I cleaned it, that's why it looks like that. I'm going with a lot of product because I just cleaned it. She forgot to highlight. What in the world? What in the world? So let me do this step really quick and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm all highlighted. Yes, she is bright, but it all works out. It all works out. So let me go in with this foundation. So I have a few videos coming up that will be complexion related. So I think that is probably the most important thing when it comes to makeup, is just having beautiful, radiant skin. So I'm gonna take this brush and go over my highlight slightly. You see it's bright, so this is not doing anything to it. And I haven't added any additional product to it. Just kind of marrying the colors together. So it can be one. They say two become one. So I don't know. So this is what it's looking like. I'm loving it. But once I add my bronzer, it just pulls it all together. So let me grab that. So you know I'm rocking with that Charlotte Tilbury in shade 3. And the brush I'm using is also from Target. So as my finishing powder, I'm gonna go over my face with my Hourglass. I put it in the cap. So you guys already know the deal. I'm gonna head off camera, do these brows, put on some blush, and I will be right back. So I just took that bronzer and used it as an eyeshadow. Quick, done, easy breezy, nothing to it. Put on lots of mascara and lip gloss from e.l.f. Yes, I did. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I had to update you guys because she's been sitting on this since Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.